is also a survivor of quite a lot of mental health issues, of which some of them I'm almost as much comfortable to speak about them. I'm also one person who have tried, I don't know how many times, to end his life, but here I am today. You'll be driven that way. Next thing you're feeling this way, you're going that way. The next thing, we're like, I'm feeling this way, you're going back. So it's the art of learning the skill of emotional intelligence to say, in as much as I'm feeling this way, I still do this. It goes to self-awareness, understanding your emotions, understanding how they shape your perspective, understanding how they influence your impulse actions. Destroyed me, don't have built it. They've destroyed me before, they've built me before, and it's been a cycle up. So it's about you, the way you think when you're at your lowest point in life. Whatever it is, it's going to pass, and the only way to do it is to take it one day at a time.
Way so much of just Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of As You Think, So Are You, a place where we come to just have genuine conversation surrounding mental health, self-help, and personal development. This is a safe space where we get to share experiences, get to have professional knowledge and advices that we can implement on our day-to-day life, on how we can navigate the challenges of life, and how we can actually end up enjoying life. So today we are having our guest, Mr. Fana Simelane, always good looking, a very vibrant human being, inspirational indeed, a professional nurse, I must say that, currently at Manqoba Clinic, someone who is so passionate about mental health and well-being of an individual and for himself too. So let's just dive right in. Mr. Fana, welcome.
My brother, thank you for the warm welcome. And I think I'm just so much glad to be here because, you're touching about mental health. And when you gave me that call that, Manqoba, I just need you to come over. We need to have this interactive podcast. I'm like, oh, okay. Now we are headed to, mobilizing the people out there. People don't want to read these days. People want a brief summary of everything. They just want things. They just want things that are so fast and instant gratification. Up as to what system. So basically, I think I'm very glad to be here. And in as much as I'll be sharing, more of information about mental health, well, strictly on emotional intelligence, but I want to also learn through this interactive conversation because as a person, you need to be open to new information, you need to be open to assimilate, accommodate, and adapt. So that's just life. You need to sometimes alter some information, you need to change it, that's life. And if you're stuck and we call you that, you are now a stereotype person because you're not open to new information, you're now stuck in your own belief, and believe me, you won't grow. You'll be stuck in the cycle.
True.
Yeah. So, well, a brief summary about myself. How old am I? I'm okay. I've forgotten that, but I think I'll remember before the end of the podcast. But yeah, I'm just a gentleman, early 20s, and I think I did try to pursue nursing.
Okay.
Not because I wanted to be a nurse. Me, guys, I wanted to be a soldier. Growing up, I wanted to be a soldier. I wanted to carry a gun. Those dreams when you're growing up. And then, as I grew up, I'm like, okay, being a soldier and then you're stuck in the bushes and there's no growth. I, for one, I don't want to be caught in a cycle of life. I basically get myself. I'm one person who's challenge driven. I want a challenge. Even when I saw my girl, if you don't give me a challenge, I'll run away. I want a challenge in life. I like the chase going. I don't want things to come easily, and I don't want to be stuck in a routine that is flowing monotonously, and I'm now stuck. And no, so coming back, the dream of being a soldier, it's now crashed because I was telling myself I'll be stuck in the bushes. Next thing I'll be hitting, I'll be shooting at birds and wasting the canvas ammunition exactly. And then I was like, okay, what can I do? I tried engineering. I applied. It was during COVID. I got accepted at Ukraine, but then flights were in a standstill. We couldn't travel. And then I'm like, okay, let me apply this. And then instant how bang accept how nothing akona. You know, me, I thought nursing it's all about uh, midwifery, like the legis band. But then when I got into the space, I was told there's a space called mental health. Like, let me try this. And then when I was pursuing it, I tend to relate on most of concept. You know, when you're on a dead year, still haven't decided whether you're going to mental health or you're going to midwifery. So when you're doing the introduction to mental health on my dead year, I kind of related to most of concept. I'm one person who is also a survivor of quite a lot of mental health issues. Okay. Of which some of them I'm almost as much comfortable to speak about them.
Great.
So I'm also one person who have tried I don't know how many times to end his life, but here I am today, and it's only glory to God. I believe in that man. Believe in that man. And then so I related to the most of the concept. I'm like, okay, so this person can speak through my mind. It doesn't know me, but in the concept and the experiences of life, they kind of explain who I am. So I want to do it because if he's able to do it to me, all gratitude to Mr. Mabuza, yeah, my lecturer. If he can do it to me, if he can read through my mind, if he can help me answer some of the questions that I've been having way back since year one, then I can do it to other people. So I won't be stuck in a routine. I can read struggles, right? I can read, multiple number. You are not. So I can read different people's mind, and it's giving me true. But okay, Rango built this thing in this way. Okay, now I'm meeting another client. Yeah, patient. So you're not stuck, man. You get to meet different people. Even if you guys can grow up in the same environment, same parents, you can be twins, but then the way you interpret life will be different. Yep. And that is what I just love about life. And hence why I pursue mental health, so that I don't get bored. Everywhere that I read, people, even this space of reading, the quantity of silence. Why did you choose this book? Choose this book? What inspired you to choose this book? So it's all about putting the stimuli each and every second, and it keeps my mind busy. Yeah. Okay, so it's cool. Still speak about myself and why I chose this topic, emotional intelligence, for today. I think this topic is for leaders. Way back, I've always wanted to lead. Okay. I've always wanted to not to be stuck in a routine and being a follower, but I wanted to lead. And when I was reading most of books and trying to understand life, I tend to understand that it's not about being smart. Doesn't enable you to be a leader. You can all graduate from school, have that one qualification, same qualification, you can have all those qualification, and then what determines you to pass is IQ. It's the intelligence. It's your inborn, your innate intelligence. It's what we call people. Okay, what people say, you are smart. You are smart because you're able to grasp concepts. You're able to apply them in life. You're able to apply them in theory and all the likes. So It's basically IQ that can put you in a state where you accomplish at school. But then la bese isala khona ke Masibu isala like tenini. We are now all qualified. We are now ready to go to the workspace, work environment. Now, what set you apart? What will now set you apart from all this? Because trust me, man, where I'm working, uh, most of most of people they have degrees. They're qualified. They have degree qualification. But what will now set a person from another and let that person stand out? It's now what I call emotional intelligence. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm introducing my topic now. I won't wait for you to say, oh, man, but now back actions. So now let us go to the gist of today's conversation. No, now I'm getting into emotional intelligence. Well, it's emotional intelligence that will set you apart from other people, even while you're still at school. I think if, because you come way back, man, I think you've always wondered why I've always been different. I did things different. I dressed.
Was looking the part.
I dressed differently. I walked differently. I don't, I would think differently. Hey, yeah, I would do think, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind leaving a test. I remember one time, ladies and gentlemen, one time we wrote 3 tests, and from those 3 tests, we're given another option to write the fourth one. The fourth one was going to lift our CA cumulative mark, yeah, something like that. So that when you go for the exams, at least you've got a better mark, a better mark so that you are able to pass well. So you are calculating my CA from the three test, and I'm finding that I'm getting 8, 80. Yes, 80. It was the mark that I got. And then oh, it was 80, it was 85. It was 85. And then the lecturer is saying, okay, guys, I'm giving you another chance to write another one so that we add it, so that, some of the people, they move from 60 to 70 to 80 to 90. And I'm like, okay, when are we going to write the test? I'm looking at my schedule. Well, we'll be writing the test on Friday. And I know myself on Fridays, I'm always out there, not partying, but busy with other things, man, that are quite of exposing me to the outside world. So I'm busy calculating, okay, my mark is 80 from these 3 tests, and when I don't write the test, I get a 0, and then she adds the 0 here, and then she divides, and then I get 52 to the test. I end up not liking the test. I got 52 from 80. She was asking me, man, why didn't you come to write the test? I was sitting, I was out there doing other things that, fine, we are in an academic institution, but then there's also life out there. And, I think that is what I can motivate most of people who be listening to this podcast, especially those who are still at school, that, don't be confined in the academic space. Expose yourself to your potential employers. I started working while I was on year 3. That is, I started earning a salary from year 3 while I was still a student. And Thursday, Friday, I will up and do my classes and go out there and be busy with work. Saturday, I'll be busy with work. And I didn't mind missing the classes. Find that the content is very important, but then you would just get time to go back and read, and get the content and in the theory part. But also what is important is that most of the theory doesn't apply to the practical world. Oh, but it's good at the envelope,
Is what to apply the theory into the practical world. While it's really not about theory applying to practical work, but it's about actually being able to maneuver with the information that you have, try to convert it to be applicable, to the world. So from what I'm getting from you, okay, well, I've got many things. I've actually got many things, but I appreciate the perspective you are coming from when it comes to your approach to mental health. The fact that you were driven by something that you saw that it was helping you to be able to try and apply it to life and to be able to live your life better, firstly, and also being able to help other people to live their lives in a better way. There are quite a number of things I would advise people to take. We don't buy classes. Okay. Yeah, talking. So it's more like you really have to know what you're passionate about. In as much as we grow up being confined to societal standards, we grow up confined to the education that you have to wake up, go to school, finish school, go to varsity, after varsity, go to work. Well, that's the typical thing. But in all that, I think you mentioned something that you, as a person, you need to know what really sets you apart. We can have the same qualifications, we can have the same parents, but at the end of the day, the way I see the world is different from the way you see the world. So I'm picking that. And coming to the subject that you touched, I just want to maybe get a deeper understanding. How has mental health, or rather, the concept we are talking about, emotional intelligence, helped you to live a better life? Professionally, academically, personally, socially, like how you relate with people, how you navigate challenges. Because after all, you say the theory really doesn't apply in the real world. So it's time that you take what you learned and apply it relevantly to the situations you're facing. So how has that been for you? How did you go about actually navigating challenges, having the emotional intelligence, having the qualifications, maybe? Yeah.
Interesting. You're dropping facts, man. Well, where do I start? Okay. The topic emotional intelligence is is a build up from your basic intelligence. We call it IQ, intelligence quotient, how smart you are, brilliant you are, and that is useful for school, for your academics. You're able to read your slides and you grasp the concept, and then you go to your test, you you pass the test. So that is just IQ. And then emotional intelligence. I got there. I think I've been studying emotional intelligence for the past 5 years. Um, my my okay, let me share my kind of professional work. So what I do, going to companies and having wellness sessions and having those wellness talks about mental health, I've always touched on emotional intelligence.
Okay, maybe to just cut you. Okay, to step here a bit. Like, what is emotional intelligence?
Emotional intelligence, and don't forget that. Emotional intelligence is divided into two, but the definition is covering two things. Number one, emotional intelligence is being able to recognize, understand, and manage your emotions, and also to recognize, understand, and influence the emotions of others. That is emotional intelligence. It speaks about the emotions of you personally and speaks about the emotions of the people around. And the minute you're able to balance those things harmoniously together, the more you'll be able to live a blissful life. And the more you're being able to be set apart from the rest of the people whom you are all having the same degree, the same qualification. I always tell leaders in some certain companies who are CEOs, also have that program. I tell them that, you as a leader, I probably have got the same qualification as some of the people, or maybe even more than that. But then what will make you a good leader is emotional intelligence. It's you being aware and managing your own emotions, and also being able to understand the emotions of others and being able to influence those emotions of others. Not basically to manipulate, but then to maintain that
Balance.
that balance, yeah, between the two. Okay, so going back, yeah, you just told me so that I explain emotional intelligence. Well, emotional intelligence helped me academically in the sense that most people don't really have it. So it for me it was an advantage. Emotional intelligence, before I even go to how it has helped me and how it's helping my life, it's better to understand its components. And mind you, this component I didn't find. I've been reading a lot of books and a lot of books. But then the component that I'm going to share right now is basically some that I picked from my experience with life and interacting and and reading quite a lot of books, and some being practical experiences. So um let us delve a bit on emotional intelligence, then we'll go back to the other side on how it's being beneficial and why is it crucial for people to have. Emotional intelligence is a practical limit skill, Mr. Mazibuko. You are never and never born with it. You will never be born and instantly you have emotional intelligence. You will have IQ when you are born, but you can never have emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence goes to as it's a skill. It's a practical learned skill. It can be learned, it can be unlearned. It's a skill that people need to delve into it and learn much about it. Because not so many people have it, number one. And not so many people are able to solve conflicts, not because they cannot have the ability to solve it, but then they lack the emotional intelligence part of it. They their decisions are driven by emotions. Their dreams, they're driven by emotions. Their goals are driven about emotions. And one thing about emotions, man, they change. They fluctuate. Next thing, I'm waking up next to my woman, my spouse. I'm happy to be with her. The following day, I want to divorce you. I don't want you. And the following day, I also love you again. So emotions fluctuate. And mind you, if I make a decision to divorce you because on that day I wasn't feeling like I love you, and then next day I feel like I still want you back. So you're just caught in a dilemma, in dynamics of emotions, and man, you're gonna have one hell of a roller coaster of life, because you'll be driven that way. Next thing you're feeling this way, you're going that way. The next thing we're like, I'm feeling this way, you're going back. So it's the art of learning the skill of emotional intelligence to say, in as much as I'm feeling this way, I still do this. But let us go deeper now. Go deeper, Papa. Emotional intelligence has four components. People believe that hayi wena emotional intelligence because next thing now kwakile utawuthatha na equipment nayo uyishaye phansi because you're unable to manage your emotions. But then that's also a quarter of emotional intelligence. Next thing you'll tell me that a person with high emotional intelligence is one person who will let's say you make me angry, and then when you make me angry, I tend to preserve myself and be silent and approach you later that, you know what, you made me angry on this. And the difference is that I didn't act when I was in a spirit. I acted when I was now calm. People say, that person has high emotional intelligence. No, that also a quarter of what emotional intelligence is. Emotional intelligence, according to me, has four components. Number one, Mr. Mazibuko, we have self-awareness. Self-awareness. People don't know themselves. They don't know themselves, and how do you expect to know what will make you happy, what will make you feel sad? Because you just notice those emotions flooding in. This thing's making me angry. So it goes to self-awareness, understanding your emotions, understanding how they shape your perspective, understanding how they influence your impulse actions. Ish, simaninga magama. Self-awareness is you, Rango, being able to know that nankwatile ngawuthatha decision enje, and I choose not to act when I'm angry.
I will not regret the decisions I'll take.
Yeah, it's you basically saying, I know when I'm feeling this way, manje nangihappy kakhulu, ngathatha ifoni ngithi e-wallet 5K.
Please keep right number for it was
Because I know when I'm happy, I want everyone to be happy. And I know, we are all facing financial crisis. So if I can send you whatever, you're gonna be happy, and then we are all happy. So I'm aware that, when I'm feeling this way, I tend to act this way. When I'm feeling this way, I tend to think this way. Okay. So that is self-awareness. People really need to be cautious about themselves. They need to be aware on what makes them happy, on what influences their thoughts, what influences their decisions, their impacts actions. Why are you even using a glass to drink water instead of using the boss face? So you need to be aware of what influences your decisions, your actions, and everything. That is just one core button.
okay. Maybe to just ask.
Manager, I'm choosing to drink from the press.
Let's say Travis. All right, okay. So from what I'm getting, you're saying people are missing it and actually not being able to know themselves. How to then, if I think I don't know myself, or maybe we assume we know ourselves, we assume we know ourselves. How do I see that I really need to delve much into knowing myself? How do I go about actually being self-aware? Because the fact that I know my favorite color, even though I don't know it, I know, like, it's more like we have the assumption that because I'm me, I know myself. The fact that I'm Neliswa, it's fine. I know my name. I know maybe what I like to eat, but we don't really go to confront our emotional aspects of things. We just live life every day on default.
Yeah.
On autopilot. You see, you get to be offended and you realize after acting, and you even regret the action you took, Then coming from that, I want to know, like, how can a person actually go to the stage as I am self-aware, you know, given everything, and not from professional standpoint, practicals, yeah. Because not all of us will have the qualifications you have, maybe. Not all of us will go through the academic experiences you went through. But at the end of the day, we are all confronted by the same life challenges. And we definitely react in different ways. Some of us react and we regret after reacting. And some are able to navigate the life better. So that's why we sometimes feel like my life is meaningless, somebody else's life is bad. So how do we go about navigating all those challenges?
Yeah, you're speaking, man. I'm thinking, that you just say people don't know themselves, and you're very true on that. You're very true on that, because people, they find themselves making decisions they regret. They make decisions, they say, and they find themselves making them all over again, all over again, all over again. And they don't realize that now they're caught in the cycle. So what will make you self-aware? Being practical. Practical. Not even to have a conversation with yourself. People don't have conversations with themselves. People don't reflect on their actions. People don't reflect on their decisions. People don't evaluate their decision. Okay. People have certain defense mechanisms when things go wrong based on how they did things, based on how they decided on doing things. They tend to blame it on some other. If they don't blame, they be denial. If they're not in denial, they would suppress it down and say, they tend to have defense mechanisms. They don't approach the problem. They don't approach their behaviors head on. They tend to shift it. And defense mechanism places you on autopilot. It says, I rangukuleka, that whatever that made you sad, that whatever decision that you made, it was just life. It just happened. You didn't have much of responsibility. Or maybe it was somebody else's. It was somebody else's fault. Or man, it fine. It was your decision, but man, you've been going through a lot. Why didn't you just take that whole bottle of James in? So it's okay to take it, and it don't reflect that time, man. Now I'm taking a bottle of Jameson each and every week, and now I'm influenced by emotions on how I feel. That the brain is telling me that, do it, man. You're going through a lot. Nah, yeah, it makes you feel better. So people, in order to be self-aware, reflect on your decisions, evaluate your behavior, take some time, speak to yourself. Angisho ukuthi uhlala usohleli nyalo yamani ngoba betakalani athi baba angisho lo guys, journal your feelings, journal what makes you behave in a certain way, journal your day, journal your week, so that you see ukuthi okay yati, my week was bad because I was kind of feeling this way. And then it influenced or shifted my perspective on things. Hence, I decided to uh, behave this way. I decided to call it cayenne and, do whatever, based on how I was feeling. So I was feeling this way, and this way made me to make this decision of going to cayenne for the whole weekend and for the allowance and I guess I call. So it's all about journal, reflect, evaluate, stop shifting blame, take full responsibility, you be self-aware.
They say when you shift blame, you are giving the other person the power over your life.
Exactly, man. You are. You are. You are. Like, guys, hey, Sasha Komponenti, stick with us.
Okay. No, thank you so much for that. I think it's more practical, and I think I am learning a few things myself. Because truly speaking, we are subject to many emotional fluctuations, and we end up regretting the things we say, the decisions we take. We hurt people. They say hurt people, bad people. I don't know what how different it is. Okay, but you know, we go through life without this awareness that we need to have. So I am on a journey of being emotional intelligent. Now I am self-aware. What next?
We go to the second Kupa. Okay, my student self-awareness, I'm remembering now, you mentioned about colors, man. And you find yourself being stubborn, I like this color. But then you don't understand where is it coming from. Me, now, okay, not now, but at a certain point in life, I found myself liking the color pink.
Okay.
Yeah, I really wanted to understand. Vumbuka, man, because I love blue. But Piku Vumbuka, I remember, oh man, this lady that, yeah, that's Tickler's. She loves pig. And most of the things that I will buy her, petit pinky and namsing the cancer things as a pig. So I'm making a decision to buy pink things because man tenga pink the way I feel good because her should take person. Exactly, man. So that is how I was for Haibo. I'm in love with pink because of her.
Which means, from what you are saying, we are not really rigid to what influences us. It's not really that I have this one favorite color, but being self aware means that I will be able to adjust and adapt and accept other situations. More like I love the blue, but I feel like I have the essence of pink, which I also feel like I appreciate. So, reverting back to emotional intelligence, it's more like let me know that I am influenced by this.
Yeah.
but be open to learning that other things can also influence and shift my perspective. How will I be able to accommodate such? Because another thing which I feel like we deal with these people, we are rigid when it comes to change,
Yeah.
because I like Loom, I'm stuck and as it turns out big, in friend. Why there are things that will influence you to actually appreciate, and some situations are actually better, you know. When you change, you will change for the better. But because we become rigid, we cannot now navigate this life. So moving secondly to that second component, how then after the self-awareness, still my question.
Hey, Mark. Now you're self-aware, we need to move on to self-management. Then, yeah. So self-management now says, I manage my emotions, and also I know how they affect other people. Number two. And number three, I know what makes me this way, and me feeling this way, I'll act this way. So it's you now managing your outward behavior, okay, after knowing how you feel. So self-awareness is saying, Rango, you feel this way, you're gonna act this way. But in self-management, they say no, it's more of a filter. It says, after you being self aware, after you knowing your emotions, after you knowing how it can change your perspective, after you knowing how it can lead you to act this way and behave this way, what do you choose to do now? That's self management. Do I throw this glass on this floor when I'm angry, or do I choose to reserve myself? So self management goes an extra mile to say, what do I decide after knowing how? What makes me feel this way, or these emotions make me feel or decide or act this way? Self management now say, what do I do now? So you are managing yourself. Yeah, it's self-explanatory. You are managing yourself after feeling in a different kind of way.
Mm. Okay, so it's more like the accountability part.
Exactly. Yabona nishito ngathi ndawufunza. Accountability, yes, and taking responsibility for how I feel.
So now I know internally how I feel. Now I have to know how to act based on how I feel. Let's move to the third.
Yabo samba ngekota, stick with us. You're going somewhere with this. Okay, now I'm self-aware. I know how I feel. I know how it makes me feel. I know how it influences my thoughts and decisions. I know how it makes me behave in a different kind of way. And now I know how to self-manage myself. Now we move on to social awareness. And the social awareness, it's you. Okay, let's explain social awareness. Social awareness now says you are now aware of the people around you. Number one, now you wanna maintain the the self-awareness, the self-management, the people how they feel, because self-awareness also forgets, remember how the people feel and how you can influence their emotions. So it was you and the other person. So social awareness is now saying maintain the balance between these two things, between these two people.
Okay.
You and the next person. Okay. So in other words, most people call it being street smart.
Mm.
Nakho laba street smart bamfuta bakhona ubona ukuthi lona ufeel like this way, lona utabe feel like this way, hence let me say this day. Now in a group of people we say nabangekho kuyabhola, because those people, they're able to maintain the environment balance, they're able to maintain the emotions of himself, herself, everybody. Exactly. Yeah, labantu lapho ke laba street smart nabangekho nje phathini kuyabhola kuba bede ma conversations, because the person is able to pick up topics that he or she knows what is going to entice you, is going to entice the other. So social awareness is saying I'm maintaining a balance.
Okay.
Yes. But then it goes an extra mile. Under social awareness, we have empathy.
Mm.
Yes, we have empathy. It plays a role because you cannot be in a position to know how you feel and how you feel this way and how it affects you if I cannot empathize with you. What is empathy?
It is a concept that you have introduced, my brother. So that was my question to you. What is empathy?
I'm pretty sure I tweeted that. Yeah.
In terms of relating it to the topic of emotional intelligence and how it applies actually as you're introducing me.
Like I said, emotional intelligence only 4 components in Yellow 3. Angeke focus to how I feel and how you feel basis at this, basis it's on high emotional intelligence. You also need to have the feel of being able to empathize with people and that social awareness. In the same state, you have high emotional intelligence because you are able to know how the next person feels and how you can help that person. That is the empathy part of social awareness and the social awareness. So social awareness and empathy, how it applies to emotional intelligence, it applies as a way or as a method to balance the self-awareness and the self-management. So we need social awareness because you cannot be in a position to balance these two people, which is you and the environment around you. Nice environment around you,
The people there.
Bamfu can be your girlfriend, can be your workmates, can be your friends, your family, but then you still need social awareness. Total khona ukusetha ukuthi, you know what, I'm feeling this way, they are feeling this way. How do I maintain a balance?
Okay. So
Empathy. Empathy and social awareness. It basically speaks to um knowing how you feel and how I can be of maybe say assistance to you because there's a difference between empathy and sympathy. Sympathy very easy knife I was actually up and I saw it. Therefore, the abona when we have go and this and then that. A person with empathy with the high social awareness, but like like what is making you feel this way? Do you think if you can try this method, how about to navigate life through this method? Meaning as a
it's more like I'm putting myself in your own shoes, trying to feel the things we are feeling without actually being influenced by it.
as getting my components empathy. So empathy I think we made a very, very great mistake. Since I'm about to empathy in discussing the fight of the dark ni understand what to feel like that. And the empathy we've got cognitive empathy, we have got emotional empathy, we've got caring.
One day,
I'm sorry guys for dropping the pattern. One thing about me when I was back in school. I remember I had my degree, let's say, ngapmana nyani, short courses. 9 certificate short courses. A total of 9. Reading a lot, I was applying, these online courses. Okazi sindawukhipha 2.3 for a short course at 3 months. And then it's now helping me in my field of work. And most of the short courses that I took, lamanya akhuluma business management, lamanya akhuluma there's this one, it's called adolescents, geriatrics, bamdabatsana. It speaks about it's just a spectrum, and I just wanted to expose myself in all those ways, and that's how I'm here. Alright, but yeah, cognitive empathy. It's saying I put my shoes in the right on your mind. I'm trying to understand why why are you thinking this way? Okay. So cognitive empathy uthi ucabangelani kanjani. I'm trying to understand that. Why ucabanga ukuthi vele amachero onke nje decide ukuthi afake emdustbin. We say all men are trash. Why are you picking like that? Why do you want to suppose so many are trash? Why it's necessary to suppose? So cognitive empathy is in understand wena ukuthi why ucabanga ukuthi boss so ke sesibusiso le. So there's cognitive empathy and then there's emotional empathy that you just explained. I'm putting myself in your shoes on why are you feeling this way? What makes you feel this way? And then there's caring. Caring is now going extra much to say, how can I be of assistance?
Okay. That's much deeper, but let's go to the fourth component. So like
Relationship management. To have high emotional intelligence, you have to be able to do these three things when it comes to relationships. Relationships not per se speaking about dating. Yeah. A relation can be family relationships, can be love, can be work, can be friendship. Friendship is also another form of a relationship. So relationship management is now saying I am able to create the friendship or the relationship. I'm able to maintain it, and I'm able to solve any problems that comes with it.
okay.
So you have to be able to create
The relationship.
and maintain it. Labanye they create and it says they don't maintain it. Utawufika ye one abe ne group of people that back and back. Semester 1. Semester 2 utaba na yenye group. Year 2 semester 1 utaba na yenye group. The person is able to create the relationships, but when it comes to maintaining part, sucks a bit. So you need to be able to create and maintain a relationship.
How?
And that is also a skill as well. Because relationship management, so that's our own grammar components line 3. The self-awareness, the self-management, and the social awareness. Better together. It's yatitimyalo as 7. Let us make sure that we create and maintain this relationship properly. So if you apply all these 3 components that you just said, you'd be able, or you'd be in a position to have high level or maybe high skill to maintain and create and maintain relationships. Yeah, because even on mental health, I think you recall back at school, we say you've got a mental issue when our chronic create to maintain a relationship. In life, you can never live solo in life. That is what I know, and that is also a principle that I apply in my daily life. You can never live alone on this earth. You need people. You need low security guard. You need that person. True.
Maybe not today.
Yes,
in the future.
you need to be humbled in life. There's one thing that people lack. They are not humbled. They are not kind. You say something because it suits you. You say something because it makes you feel that way.
Yeah, tap of the next person.
Yeah. You say one thing and that at some point in time I met a patient over and she was speaking on how just one word from her mom made her overdose tablets. 30 tablets. 30 Panadol, lo mfu ngikhuluma nyalo, young as she is, socala dialysis. Because her liver and then the kidneys got damaged, man. Just one word, you're useless. Uthi leli gama lafike la confirm things in good. Alright, yeah. Yeah. So we just need to be happy. Before you say something, think about it. So you think the party as you think, so are you. So the more you think that if I can say just any word in pass it makes you a terrible person. I don't like sticking with people who are terrible, who are not humble. I want to have a healthy relationship and a healthy environment amongst people. Yeah.
No, it's a lot. It's a lot. It can speak. It's a lot. But just to touch a few on what you've just said, combining everything, all the components you've said, I need to be aware of myself. I need to be able to manage myself. I need to be able to, what's the third one?
You need to be social aware.
To be socially aware.
Socially aware.
Then I need to be able to have relationship, yeah, create them, maintain. Okay. So let's say, given all these, does that mean now I am emotionally intelligent?
Means now you're not emotionally. You're a step ahead. In big
So we really never get there, but
yeah.
it is just a journey. Excuse me. It is just a journey of each and every day discovering.
So exactly, man.
Discovering how, because like I mentioned before, life is not rigid. So it's more like being emotionally intelligent is being able to navigate the changes. Because what makes me feel happy today, maybe tomorrow won't make me feel happy. Maybe I have this person in my life. Maybe today we are happy, we are fine. But tomorrow she or he does something that will offend me. Then how do I continue maintaining this relationship given the way that this person is behaving in this way?
Wow, you call it, man.
Okay. So then, may I ask a personal question? You mentioned you mentioned that you had attempts before.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
because you were faced with many difficult things. You know, maybe I don't know. I didn't mention that.
Yeah.
Like, what was missing then that you have now that will not make you do the decisions made, have the decisions that you took before? You know, what really do you have now? What skills, or maybe what knowledge, or maybe what experiences do you have now that really went there before that influenced the decisions?
Yeah, I think I'm left with this few scars. Manageable, maybe the cameras won't show. But then, I'm one person who, the issue of suicide and things, I'm now comfortable to speak about them. I'm a survivor there. And yeah, fine, you said it's personal, but then for me now, it's not. Speak about it. Yeah, so I think info leshaya bamfo kakhulu naliyalishaya before is having a belief that the situation lena ngiyayendlula, is having a belief that things are yet to be worse than what they are today.
It's really about bottom.
Yeah, it's having the belief that there is no purpose. Like I don't have a purpose, and moving on with life was it out better. Basically, it's thinking the negative way. And the more you think negatively about something, the more you get drowned into it. And the more the brain tries to tell you that, hey, Rango, it doesn't look that way. It's not that way. It's gonna be better. And that voice, if it just whispers to your ear that no, it's not that way. Because one thing I can tell you, man, the brain is always and always positive. It will always try to be positive, and whenever you give it something negative, angeke ikuvumele. That is why people overtake and balale ngapho say, babhizi bathi, hey, lo mfana lona, ngiyamthanda mose, why ithi ngomvo, shit, usetak brapa, shit, usetak brapa lo mputhi ha, hayi angithazi, ngithengele chocolates nini no, med beranza iwe nakangishaya, nomena kwayise dawa safa, usedawa ishaya. Ube hey, ngoba I give up, ngoba I surrender. So there is one thing, and how did I find out Tofusi Ngoma is always positive? I tried giving my brain a negative command. That's not a negative command, positive. I'll give an example, man. Mr. Rango, don't think of a red car.
Definitely, I'm thinking of a red car.
Don't think of students in Neliswa rioting.
Definitely, I'm not about the
Hoes. In as much as I'm giving you something like it, don't do it, don't do it. The brain is saying undo it. So I think way back I didn't have the knowledge that the more I think about negative things, the more the brain tells me that it doesn't look that way. And the more I dwell into the negative part of it, giving it more reason and giving it more reason that, it's not going to get better. Things are going to remain this way. And for things won't remain this way. Things I have to go better, man. And to everyone listening there, and probably going through something, that situation is going to get better. It's going to pass. Life is never linear. I met, a prominent person. I won't mention the name because it's a client. I met a prominent person, the CEO of some, big company. And he told me that, man, I understand one thing about life. Life will never be linear. Life has up and downs. And when you're nakapgusha through something, he's very happy because he knows after this, he's rising up. So it's about you, the way you think when you're at your lowest point in life. Whatever it is, it's going to pass. And the only way to do it, it is to take it one day at a time. Don't consume it kwekuthi wonke lo mnyaka ngithathe solo nibhetlisha ngekuthi angikhoni ukubhadala school fees ekhaya there are conflicts there. Don't consume it and narrow it to a whole year to I don't know how many years. Take it one day at a time. 1 to 3 days, 4 weeks or whatever, you'll see it's all gone. Because man, bamfu lo basitile asalenga la petulo. Because suicide is a 2-second thought. Wamsita lo wamsusa lapha uba like utapoma. Because that person was trying to escape a situation.
Not really, I want to die.
Yeah. Because the soul will try against you, but I don't want to die. I don't want to die, and when you're trying to escape. If phela nithi ufuna kuva, let me drown you mbone ukuthi ngeke ngifune. That is why people want something that is too quick so that they don't come back to the reality second thought. They don't want to come back to the reality part of it, being conscious ukuthi phela ngizolela info data wendlula empilweni. So whatever it is, it's going to pass. And mean something that I didn't know, that I know now, that whatever situation that comes into my life, I always tell myself, one day at a time, I'm at my lowest point, I'm still going to rise up.
Well, I've taken a lot myself. Yeah. So, what was my lowest point in life?
Yeah, my lowest point in life is losing someone very close. And I dealt with grief in a different way. That is why I started cutting myself. Now I too already soifunzile that when my suicidal attempt started, nakaye too, usuke soifunzile human atanato. So the veins to target and cut so that it just die. So I did that, and upon was it's not working because they found me. I tried I climbed the tall building, and I don't know no security ukuthi wathamngaphi, but then wambamba seyambamba lenyawo lami. And there were a lot of attempts by Putu. And right now, once you speak about suicide and meeting people who've been trying to kill themselves, I'm saying I know how you feel. I know what the brain is trying to tell you. It's going to get better. But when you still give me more reason, would say, no, it's not. It won't get better. Which is why you need to speak to someone. Speak to someone, get a second opinion, when you're in that suicidal ideation, your brain is drunk, is not sober. So you need to get someone who's going to wake it up.
Give you a shift your perspective.
Ye ngiyakutshela umfana ngathi bulalela 2000. Afike umfana amtshele ukuthi athi 2000 ungakhona ukuthi loyo mashonisa simnikete 500 per month or maybe siyomkhulumisa. Next thing I'm like, yo, mposi ngathi bulalela 2K.
Yeah, true. So it's more like you reach the ceiling, not because there are no solutions, but because your mind really can't reach out to the solutions that they are. Exactly. And so, how did you get out of those? Because sometimes we don't have somebody who will pull us out, and some people die, like they really die, and it's painful. And the people remaining, they feel in regret, you know. They in as much as they are grieving, but they are blaming themselves. How did I even see? How did this happen? Like how? You know. So, what really made you pull to?
I had to speak to I had to speak to someone. If it wasn't for that person, I think I would have been stuck in my own false beliefs. So I had to speak to someone, but then I understand. Some people are skeptical to speak to other people because, well, it's either they don't trust those people because next thing that's in Kuruma na Mr. Mazibuko say all over the podcast. So it's basically about getting that there's always that someone. I know there's always that someone that you trust. Noma kuthiwa lo mfo ngeke akuside ngalufo, speak. Yeah.
Yeah, we were Nano basically on how you actually managed to deal with everything that you faced and how you came to be how you are today. Because one thing for me that I find it inspirational and more that I appreciate more with people, it's the ability to bounce back. You know, having faced or having gone through situations that were so derailing in life, situations that felt hopeless, maybe that felt like it was the end of everything. But when you meet the very same person today, it's just a whole radiant, alive human being. Is not really confined to the situations of yesterday. So that is one thing I also appreciate about you, honestly speaking. I've seen you live in life in Masi. Well, maybe I didn't have the details mostly of what was really going on in your life, you know. But you can tell, no, you can tell that yesterday is not is not like today, in life. Not really because I was stalking you or what, but interactions, everyday interactions. We all have situations. We all have our low moments, but at the end of the day, it is not the end of everything. You know.
Able motivational speak.
No. So that is one thing. Before we conclude,
Yeah.
they will love to appreciate with you. And having shared what you shared, really, it is so inspirational to know that you went through things, you attempted things, but you ended up realizing that no, man, life is better. Life can be better if I can just shift my perspective on things and focus on the positive things. Life will be better. And the fact that today I'm faced with this problem doesn't really mean I am confined to this environment at this time, but it is just a phase in life. Because imagine if it was successful what you attempted. Hey, today we wouldn't have you here.
Look at this.
But
Yeah, handsome jet.
but you had to go through such things so that the next person listening to you won't go through the same things, you know, so that they will learn from your experiences. Because sometimes we blame ourselves we get stuck in the past, really in regret of why me? Eish, why is it supposed to be me who goes through this? If not you, then who?
You know, why you're saying why? You know, man, I'm now uh, reminded of how we can, in the midst of situations, you know, traumatic situations, difficult situations, there are certain words that we shouldn't use. Why? You know, like, why me? But then there are further other three words that put pressure on us,
Okay.
in the sense that they make the problem even worse than it really looks like. Exactly. So words like I must do this, I must I must negate ekhaya 1.2 each and every month when follow 1.69 is good when I must take care of my parents at home panegate 1.2. Next thing you're stuck like a bus uyala. Next thing in life, when now we are starting to work, I must take care of all my sisters. I must, I should, I ought to. Those words, you are calling it demanding words. They put pressure on you because once you don't do it, you definitely be stressed. You definitely feel like a loser. You feel like you you can't accomplish things. You feel like you're disappointing a lot of people. You're disappointing yourself even because you are not able to do it. We are holalana 15K. Uthi wena, I must take care of my family. Usita msala lole usita parifa lapho usala nesalary ya 1.5. Uhlala one room wena ke phola 20K because yonke lenye imali isitapunkele labanye. Why? Wena in your head you told yourself I must, I should, and if I don't do it, who will do it? So you put pressure on yourself to a point that you're unable to even live your own life.
No, I think we need to wrap up. Probably we need to have another conversation. Another episode on the back had a conversation really. Yeah. But wrapping up, just one question, then we wrap up. How have your thought influenced you? How you are, how do they influence your everyday life? Because you are here, as you think, so are you, you know. It's more like our everyday thoughts are the things that really manifest in our lives, you know, are the things that actually go about influencing certain actions we take each and every day. And how is that big going?
Thoughts have destroyed me, thoughts have built. They've destroyed me before, they've built me before, and it's been a cycle. To a point where now I do realize that thought has the power to destroy a person, to build a person. So how it's influenced me to be the person that I am, thoughts drove me to be this person that I am today, to pursue things, have those dreams, have those goals. I started thinking positively. Negative thoughts, they're going to destroy you. Positive thoughts, they're going to build you. So yeah, damn.
So thank you so much. Thank you so much once again for taking your time to be here. And once again, I must say I am inspired by you. You are, and I'm sure many people also are inspired. And I just believe people will get to listen to this, will get to watch this, will get to pick actually these lessons, these nuggets that you shared of your experiences about your life, how you navigated your life. So wrapping up, once again, thank you so much. And thank you so much to everyone who's watching. And I hope, as I picked a few things, many things actually, all of us will benefit and get to know that being emotionally intelligent is not really about trying to live a perfect life, but it is always about this learning each and every day, trying to figure out how I can do better today, having the self introspection, the self awareness, being able to relate with people, being socially aware, you know. able to make relationships and maintain a relationship. So it's more like life. It's just an everyday experiment. Each and every day we try to be better. Each and every day we try to do better. Each and every day we change things we didn't do better yesterday. We accept things we can't change. We are able to adapt to situations. With those words, thank you so much.